Hey everyone, I'm Yvette Lloyd, host of Life Her podcast. We are joined by LaTia Ashley. She is an entrepreneur, author, and visionary behind the update. She is a debut, that's her debut book, and it also is a heart behind the update on her becoming on the Amazon #1 bestseller. In the three categories during the first week, LaTia is shifting the conversation around dating, moving beyond the culture's expectations to focus on covenant and also the wholeness of the true heart of work. I'm excited to dive into this journey, her book, and everything that she have got going on. And one thing for certain, the devil will try to get in the way of someone's testimony, but it's always a test behind it for you to share many of your lessons and everything to help someone else. And sometimes he gets in the way in that because he know one person is going to grasp it. So we welcome you, LaTia. Hey, girl.
Hi, and thank you so much for having me. Hello.
Hello. So, first and foremost, before we actually get into everything that you've been doing, who was LaTia before you actually debuted your book update?
Who LaTia was and who she is still the same person, just with another notch in my belt of what God can do. Um, I'm a person that I work in entertainment, and this is my first book, and I had no idea that the response would be what it is. So I'm still super grateful, and I'm still amazed, and have great expectation for what's going to happen next with it.
Yes. So, your book is #1 in three Amazon categories in the first week. And congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So, what do you think resonated most with your readers, like that for it to like spread so quickly?
So honestly, I just have to go off of the feedback that I've been getting. Um, Believe it or not, I've been getting a lot of feedback from married people that's reading it, and they're saying that it's everything they wish they would have known before they got married. It's been a lot of positive feedback in small groups, a lot of single small group, and yeah, so I really believe that it's just, the favor of God that's on it. And it's a timely message. It's not a sugar coated, um, you know, be good and get the ring type book. It's definitely relevant for today's current era with our culture that we live in. So
So you end up getting the ring, but you didn't walk the aisle and say, I do. What changes have you made since you changed your mind and started to move forward separately in your life?
now, Yvette, can I be real? Can we can do this? So I mean, honestly, not having the ring was a blessing. And deciding not to say I do when I really felt that I don't. I felt when you know something's not right, but you still lean into it and you still go anyway, the worst thing you can say to yourself is I knew that. And so letting on the ring really taught me to listen to my first mind and my spirit. See, I realized that um clarity is in peace. Clarity is in that. Like, if there's any doubt, if there's any confusion, is if there's any question marks, then the answer is no. So for me saying no to a ring really helped me gain a backbone and a strength that I didn't know that I had until I had to have it. So that's what it did for me.
Oh, that's a lot.
It
It
is.
is. And for you to think that this is about to be your forever person, and then it just shifts like that, like
Yeah. It
that's
It does. And then, of course, the pressure of outside influences and, you know, those who think that you should have said yes and you should have continued, or maybe you should try it again. And just knowing that, listen, I know what God promised me, and Not that this person is a bad person because they're a great person or they wouldn't have even been in that space with me anyway. But you just know. And here I am years later, and I don't regret the decision that I made.
That's
I now
good.
see why my spirit told me no. Let me just say that.
Ooh. So with social media, with the church, and even like with age, a lot of people always say, "Why you not married yet? What's wrong with you?" Or the church,
Oh,
you
Lord.
shouldn't be shacking up and you shouldn't be with some person, force the marriage. Then you got social media, you're dating someone, but they're looking
Mhm.
for more in a relationship. What do you think about how forceful today is as far as everyone pushing marriage on you so quickly?
I think that I get it. You know, it's better to marry than to burn with lusts or however the scripture says. I get it. I think that I think that if we pushed walking in purpose more than we push walking down the aisle, we wouldn't have so many divorces and we wouldn't have couples trying to find their identity in their partner because that's too much of a responsibility for anybody, right? So, um, I get it wholeheartedly, you know, the why of forcing marriage. And I do feel like it's primarily because they don't want you to be um fornicating. I'm just
Yeah,
saying they don't want you to have sex outside of marriage, and which is I agree with completely. But clarity of covenant and what it actually means, in knowing that your marriage should mirror the marriage that we have with Christ, because we are the bride of Christ. If you with somebody and they don't understand that dynamic, you know, life is already, you know, has it's gonna have its peaks and valleys, right?
yeah.
So, but if there's anything that I can prevent because my foundation is firm, then I want to do that.
Yeah,
That's how I
it's
feel about it.
helpful when it's that way too. I was sharing with you previously on how I practice abstinence, and it was just it was like the best feeling ever. And it carries on even with me today. And this was like years ago. But it was enlightening to actually get to know who I was
Yes.
internally. And I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of people, men and women, should practice that because you get to know other parts of you that you didn't know that existed. And
Mhm.
it helps you grow mentally, physically, emotionally, and even financially because it teaches you a lot of discipline on
Mhm.
your shortcomings that you have going on in your personal life. Have you ever thought about trying to go that route with you actually leaving the
Girl,
situation?
yes. Yeah, absolutely. I am pro abstinence. That is, yes,
Bro.
absolutely. Yes, I am all these pronouns nowadays, but yeah, no. So, not once you understand what sex and intimacy was created for and the weight that comes with that, it you know you it just makes sense. See, a lot of us got to realize that God is way smarter than us. I know society has its own set of rules and what is and what isn't accepted, but if we're being real, we got to admit that he has things set the way that it's set because of why it's set.
Yeah,
And you know, yeah, life is much more peaceful when you do it God's way.
it
So
is.
abstaining, I am, yes.
Yeah, and soul ties are strong because not only you're getting soul ties from the mate that you're with, you getting soul ties from the mate that you were with previously and what he was with, and that's a lot to transpire within two souls, and everything will start to like unravel in so many ways when you haven't healed in many areas that's
Mhm.
within you, and it'll send you into a dark space, honestly.
You know, I actually talk about soul ties in the book. There's a chapter where it leans into the residue of it. It leads into how soul ties bleed over in your future relationships and how it can be damaging. And in fact, I like to actually call it STDs, not for sexually transmitted disease, but spiritually transmitted dis-ease. And when you are intertwining your spirit with somebody else, you have all the residue and other things that's attached to them. Now it's on you. And you wonder why you can't think straight and why you can't go with this person. And most of the time they think, oh, it's just a physical. It's because the sex was good or whatever it was. But it's a spiritual thing. Sex is a spiritual matter. So yeah, soul ties is definitely um a part of, not abstaining. That happens for sure.
Yes, definitely. So when you write a book, you experience different things because your reality is becoming real. And when you start to let everything out, like you in a therapy session, what is the biggest challenges you faced while you were in the process of writing your book?
Um, Probably being vulnerable and getting permission from some of my close friends to share their stories. Of course, I
Okay.
conceal the names, but just having that conversation and just being an open book, even about my personal experiences, and also talking to some of my friends that did it right and those who feel like they did it wrong, and getting all those lessons and putting them all into one. So it's definitely it's small, but it's a dynamic book, and it kind of hits all the pockets.
So, since you released the book and you're getting everyone's reviews on it, how have you been as far as you actually releasing it and going through with it? And I like, is the excitement there? Are you motivated to continue on and write a different chapter?
So this was volume one, and I purposely made it volume one because I feel like um when you give a lot of information at one time, this generation has a short attention span. So whatever was in my spirit, I was like, you know what, Lord, give me enough to give them their daily bread of this. So this is volume one. Lord's will, there will be a volume two, I'm sure, one day when He gives it to me. And so, yeah, I think there was an excitement, and if I'm being honest, it was really just me releasing like my diary. So it was
Okay,
a pieces of my diaries, my thoughts, and just different revelations that I got from the Lord. And yeah, so I was excited to release it. And it is volume one. It's, a lot of other things that I didn't cover in it, but it's just the beginning of it. So I'm excited to see what happens in the future.
I'm excited for you.
Me too.
So, what's one core principle in a book that you feel that every woman or man should hold onto while navigating dating today?
Oh, Lord, that is a loaded question.
Yes.
Um, I would definitely say that understand the weight of the weight is heavy, but the weight of the covenant is heavier. And if you truly understood the sacrifice and how selfless you have to be where you're supposed to be in a covenant, you would take your time.
Yes. Like, seriously,
Yes.
take your time. Sometimes I feel like everyone's in a rush for everything sometimes. And I'll be like, you need to chill.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, just take your time and not saying now. Let's put some guardrails up. When I say take your time, I don't mean waste her time either or waste his time. So taking your
Yeah,
time and wasting time are two different things. Let's be intentional.
yes.
Let's be intentional.
Yes. So many people equate dating books with steps to marriage. Why did you feel it was important to stir away from that narrative?
Well, because like you said, it's a lot of other books that give you information to say this is what you do to get to marriage. And it was almost like when I read books like that in the past, I felt like that it was almost like a merit tier system. Do this, like 10 steps to get a ring, 10 steps to get married. And it's like, wait a minute. Everyone is talking about how to get the ring as if that's the reward, when in reality, finding your purpose is finding your purpose and understanding what covenant is, and if marriage is even for you. So I didn't want to push the idea that marriage is the reward, although it is rewarding. And but we got to be honest, it's not for everybody. Now it does
Gotcha.
take a different type of consecration when you decide to not get married, but it's it's not for everybody. And I didn't want to push the narrative that something's wrong with you if you're deciding to take your time. And I wanted to look at singleness as a luxury because again, the weight of a covenant is heavy. So enjoy your time being single. And if you decide to be married and you're looking for the one, try to become the one that you want to attract first.
Tell me about it. Because loving yourself and building relationship with God during those moments of you taking your time out, those are so important because you
Indeed.
are who you attract. And you have to make sure that you attract that right mate to come into your life with the same peace that you have before
Yeah.
you even met them. And so it's important for your mate to be on that same frequency as you so that you're able to continue on and you guys could be able to navigate through the relationship so you can get through difficult journeys, you know?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You said that.
Yes. So, how can someone begin shifting from cultural expectations to covenant principles into their dating life?
Oh, how do you shift from culture expectations to covenant? Oh my goodness, by not being discipled by the culture and not being discipled by social media. So there is it's a completely paradigm shift in thinking. It's completely opposite of what covenant is. So the culture tells you that this is okay, test the car before you buy it and do this. No. So if you're looking to the culture for the answers to what will work for you in your marriage, yeah. I would look to the covenant. I would look to God, the person who created marriage. I would look to the creator of marriage to find out the best way to proceed in marriage.
Yes. So, can you like give a breakdown explanation on for our audience to know the difference between building relationships based on covenant versus the following culture norms?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Um, in a nutshell, when you're building towards a covenant, you understand the why of a marriage and not just excited with the zeal of the marriage. Actually, getting married, having the ceremony is just a portion of the relationship. The actual practice of being married is what follows afterwards. And yeah, of course, if this is something that you decide to do, and let me be clear, I am not anti-marriage at all. I'm not
Yeah,
anti-marriage. I'm just pro clarity of covenant before I move forward. So yeah,
y'all
I
heard
just love
that.
that. Yeah.
She said what she said.
Yeah.
Yes. So you describe this as more than a book, it's a movement. What does update movement mean to you?
Well, to keep it simple, in a perfect world, like if I could create an updated world, right? I would pray that a person becomes an updated person. We have one updated man, meet another updated woman, then they have some updated children, and the cycle continues. That's what an update movement is. So I'm hoping that we become updated one person at a time. And
Wow.
then, here we go.
Yes. Do you see this movement like expanding into events, coaching, or media projects?
Um, yeah, I have been asked to blend some things in with it. So I'm definitely open to doing some things to helping those who want to date from a whole perspective, and those who are also pro covenant and pro clarity of covenant. Of course, I would love if there's a community of us, and we all just kind of become updated one person at a time. So I would love to, we're gonna probably start doing some speed datings, and we may have some games coming out in the near future. So Yeah, it's just beginning, one thing at a time.
So, what lessons from writing and releasing this book has stretched you personally and spiritually?
Oh my goodness. It definitely stretched me spiritually because it forced me to dive into the covenant that I have. Now, I'm a believer. And so when I say covenant, I'm referring to the covenant that we have with Christ through Christ. And so it definitely forced me to lean into that and to understand the value of that of which we have. And it also forced me to remember the weight of saying I do, the weight of that sacrifice. When you think about all that was sacrificed for us under that covenant, and to know that my marriage is supposed to mirror that, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely stretched me that way. It's also stretched my faith too, because again, I never expected this book to do what it did initially. It came from me getting teased by my brothers, calling me a unicorn because they're saying like, "Oh, women aren't like this no more. Women aren't like that anymore." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Yes, we are." And then they said, "We need to write a book and find some more that are like you, or teach women to be like you." So, um, yeah.
Definitely. So, outside of entrepreneurship, of you writing and everything, what brings you joy and balance?
Woo. You know what? I am so glad that you said balance because oftentimes I'm asked, how do you juggle it all? And I don't juggle because I'm not a clown. I believe in balance. So I find balance by getting to my quiet place. I'm an ambivert, so I can be social. I can, go out and kick it, but you better believe I'm gonna be ready to come back home. So I find my balance in getting in solitude and getting before the feet of the Lord and, keeping an accountability circle around me and
Yes,
just having a support team that's continuing to just push me forward. So that's really been helpful.
that is very helpful. So, what are some of the people and mentors you have helped shape your perspective on love and covenant?
So honestly, a lot of it didn't come from what I saw because I wanted that. A lot of it came from those who I saw, and I didn't want mine to look like that. So I kind of learned what I wanted and what I didn't want it by what I saw in other people. So my background is in media and in the entertainment industry, and I've seen a lot. I've
I bet it.
seen I've seen, a thing or two. And, yeah, you just have to make sure that you're ready for that. And as far as my mentors, I've had I've been really blessed to have individuals share their transparency with me and to kind of be a protection for me and to bring any delusion of what being in a relationship that's working towards marriage, bringing that fairy tale down to reality. Hey, this is this, this is that. But of course, it's subject because everyone's different. So it's subject to your own individual experience. But I'm really grateful that I've had mentors and people that love me to just pour into me in that space.
So, what is one of the sneak previews of your book that you find is your favorite piece for you to let people use it as a takeaway?
I would definitely say the intentional singleness. A lot of times we talk about dating with intentions, but nobody really addresses being intentionally single. And so I would say that um that's probably the highlight for me because that's something that I was really big on. And, when you're intentionally single, you're not single because you have to be, you're not single because you necessarily don't have options to be, but you're singles because your why is bigger than what's in front of you. And when you're in a season of working on yourself and becoming a better version of yourself for your person, being intentionally single is like the pruning season for you to prepare for what's next to come.
Wow. So, how intentional are you currently with your life as far as preparing yourself for your future husband?
I think everything that I do is pushing me towards my future. I try to live, I live with, of course, getting my daily bread, but I'm also not, um, I also don't ignore the fact that the decisions I make today determines the life I live tomorrow. So everything from making sure that my finances stay clear, making sure that my credit remains good, and um, just so that no one's inheriting baggage. I don't want to inherit baggage. So I just want to make sure that I'm working to become the person that I want to attract. So
Yes.
probably that.
I am so proud of you. Yes, seriously, because I'm listening to you and it's so rare to have these type of conversations with people because they really don't understand. But the fact that you really understand your purpose, you understand your why, you understand your shift, you understand what you need to do for yourself, that is a hard space to get into for someone to really just recognize that and they're intentional with doing it. And for you to actually go to the extent to actually write a book about it, that's even more purposeful. And I think you really should give yourself credit and actually see what you are doing for yourself because you're on your way on a path that you can't even imagine yourself.
I receive that. Thank you so much. And, sometimes I get flack from just different people, like in the comments that I say, well, you're not even married. How you gonna write a book about marriage? And then it's like, okay, well, you obviously haven't read it because this isn't a book that's about marriage. This book is about clarity of covenant and deciding if you're ready for the weight of marriage. And, I just, I just really I just believe that God has greatness for all of us.
Yeah.
And I just believe that working on being the best version of you for the benefit of your future spouse. In fact, I always say that your future spouse thanks you in advance for reading this book. And that's actually one of the biggest takeaways from this is that this book, although it's for you, it's really for your future spouse. And your future spouse thanks you in advance for reading this and being able to understand the way that you may need to sacrifice for them, the way that you have to be selfless for them. And if you're not ready for that, then just step aside and get out the way for the person that is ready for that responsibility.
Yes. And even though people make these certain comments, sometimes people got to understand too with some individuals on the outside looking in, and
Yeah.
we see things that we do not want to go through. We don't want no parts of it because it will have your mental health so dark, because I've seen people get married because of them having a baby or them getting married because the dad, he wanted to be a great father, be in the same home. It's sometimes people get married for all the wrong reasons instead of the right reason.
Right.
And for us to actually notice things head on, that's just so important. And you won't know that unless you work on yourself. And,
That's it.
it's a lot.
I saw this post and it was talking about the way that you pick. And a lot of times we wonder, well, why does this keep happening to me? And how do I keep meeting this type of woman, this type of man? And it's like, well, you picked it.
Yep.
You picked it, but you're gonna continue to select wrong if you don't know the type of pool of a person you should pick from. And it doesn't mean that you're going to always get it right. It doesn't mean you're going to always land, on the bullseye. But each relationship that you have that doesn't work, that just means that you're getting closer and closer to your forever person. So
Yeah.
don't sit around and, wallow over the heartbreak, wallow over the why did this happen to me? It probably happened for you. and not to you. And I always tell my friends, if this didn't work out, you better thank God, because that just means that your forever person, they're getting closer. So
Yes,
that's just a
that is so
perspective that I
true.
like to keep with it. Mhm.
Yes. So, if you were your younger self and you could see yourself now, what would you say to her?
Ooh, what would my younger self say to who I am now? Or what would I say to my younger self now?
What would you say to her
Mm,
as your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, girl. I would tell my younger self that it's going to be okay. I would tell myself not to cry as much. I would tell my younger self that it's okay to be different and that you're called. I would tell myself that the thing that I thought was weird about me was just me stepping into my purpose and my calling. And yeah, I would encourage her and I would tell her, hey, you're the way that you are because of why you are. And when you understand your why, whatever anybody else says or what else happens, it don't even matter.
Yes.
I would say that to
So,
myself.
what legacy do you hope this book and movement will leave for the future generations?
Um, I hope that this book will begin to repair any single people that are broken, any single person that believes that they're too late, and any person who believes that getting married or a partner will make them whole. I
Yes.
hope that this reminds them that before you had a partner, you had a purpose. And I would strive to find that before I strive to find them, because you
Mhm.
might find them along the way.
So you definitely will. You definitely will.
Yes, sugar.
So what's the one step someone can take today to begin living out their update principles?
Ooh, the one thing that they can do today, um, they can start with examining why do they feel the need to have a partner. I would start with that first. And once you examine the why, oh, because I'm lonely, oh, because I'm ready, or what's the why for what you want? And if what you're wanting derives from a deficit, then you're probably not ready for that. See, the whole purpose of update is to teach you to love from an overflow, not from a deficit. Because when you're loving somebody from a deficit, you're loving them from a broken place. And you don't even know if what you're feeling is real love or if it's just a filler, because there's an emptiness there that was supposed to be filled before they came. So I would probably want to leave them with that.
That was good, girl. It's the truth, seriously.
Yeah, it's the truth. I'm telling you, been there, been there.
Yes. So how important it is to you to date yourself. It's okay to be alone sometimes. It's okay to go get something to eat by yourself. It's okay to go to movies by yourself.
Oh,
Like,
I go to restaurants by myself often. I make sure, so Sundays is like my date day. After
okay,
service, honey, I'm gonna go to a restaurant, and then I'm probably gonna go to a spa that night. And Fridays usually my date night, and Saturdays is like my wine. I mean, sorry, Friday's like my date night. Sunday is like my wind down day, like where I go to a restaurant and I go to a spa. Child, I live for a good spa. Please, put some oil on me, put me to sleep. So
listen, you got a
I
whole
live for the spa.
schedule.
Yeah, girl, you got to, please. I When I tell you being single is a luxury, it's travel the world, girl, go, girl. I've been to so many countries. I love that. And I'll tell you a short story. I was courting somebody one time, and he said, I feel like I can't do anything for you that would impress you because you've done so much. And I said, well, I haven't done it with you. And he's like,
Oh,
oh, so yeah, don't think that because you have certain experiences when you were single that they won't be as special. when you're no longer single, they're gonna still be special because now you have a different experience because you're there with somebody else.
Yes. So, how can people contact you, follow you on social media, and mainly purchase your book?
Oh, my name is LaTia Ashley everywhere, and the book is called Update. If you just search Update by LaTia Ashley, it will populate. You can find it at your Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Books Million, anywhere that you can buy books. Also, the Audible is available as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you don't have the time to sit down and hold a book and read, you can let it play. Let
I
it
know
feed your
that's
soul.
right.
Yeah.
You better get it, Latia. Well, thank you so
You're
much. I really
welcome.
enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you for having me. And again, I'm so grateful. Thank you for listen. You keep doing what you're doing
Thank
because we need more of you out here. I'm
Oh,
grateful.
thank you. I'm really embracing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Life Heard Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on all major platforms. Have a blessed one.